This is the Chrissy Swan Show.
I'm reading all the bits and bobs that we've put together for you in our absence, dear Chrissy Swan Show listeners. And I just misread what's coming up in the next hour is Snoop Dogg farting. And I thought, I wonder how Snoop Dogg does fart. Does he fart like a dog and then just smell his own bum like they do? I wonder if that's how it works for Snoop Dogg. But no, we're talking about his faint. He fainted.
Yeah, over somebody. It may surprise you. That's coming up before 3. And also, Swanee, one of my good mates, and it was the first time I believe you'd met this lovely lady, Nadia Bartel, is going to stop by the show.
It was so great to finally meet my competition for your female affection.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
Jack, if I said the words Pam Grier to you, does it mean anything?
No.
I think you've got to be sort of my age or older. Actually, she was a very famous actress in the 70s, almost the undisputed first female action star.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, from the 70s. And she had a little resurgence in the late 90s in a film called Jackie Brown, which I know a lot of you will be nodding your head, was one of the best soundtracks of the era. We're talking Bobby Womack.
What a name.
The woman that's sweet, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is on my walking list. 110th Street.
I can imagine you rocking to this as you
Oh,
walk.
man. I love it when it comes on. So that's Bobby Womack, who went on to be part of Womack and Womack, footsteps
Right.
on the dance floor.
Tune.
A bit later, and this is another one, an absolute cracker, Bill Withers.
I feel like I'm in a New York piano bar.
Oh, my God, it's so good. So look up that. That's now on your streaming services. But she sat down and had an interview on What Happens Live. Always get that
I
wrong.
love that show.
Recounting the story of when she first met Snoop Dogg. Now, I want to preface this by throwing our number out there, 13 24 10. When have you fainted? Fainting is one of the weirdest things that can ever happen to you.
This is a fear I have because I've never fainted and I've come close, but I'm so afraid of it. I find it really scary. Have you fainted?
I have, and you are right to be frightened.
Yeah.
You feel like you might be dying.
Totally.
I reckon it's as close to dying as you would get to feel when you're not dying.
Yeah.
Next to slipping under general anaesthetic, which I personally love.
Big fan of that.
So Pam Grier told this story about Snoop Dogg fainting.
I knew when it was happening. He was turning pale, and he got up and he wobbled to the men's room, and I said, "Is he okay?" And he went in and fell down on the pissy floor and fainted. And I was so upset that they cleaned him up and brought him back out, and we sat together. And I just couldn't imagine him laying in urine.
Can you imagine? I mean, she's a really big deal and a massive role model.
So it tracks that he would have idolised her and be a big fanboy.
Absolutely. I mean, someone like Pam Grier to Snoop Dogg, it would be one of those situations where you can't believe that your eyes are seeing that person.
Okay.
So I don't blame him for fainting. 30 24 10. When have you fainted? I've only ever fainted once. And I'd cut my finger, like I was chopping something and I cut it. And it was really deep and really bad to the point I had to go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor. I bundled it all up in a tea towel. And it was painful and bleeding a lot, but I wasn't bad.
And were you calm about it at the time?
Really calm. It was yuck, but it was fine. Anyway, it wasn't until the doctor was quite rough, inexplicably, and he was like cleaning it up and moving it around. And I was watching it and I could see it had sort of butterflied open, like when you slice out the back of a prawn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sort of turned inside out. And I was like, that really hurts. Can you be careful, please? He's like, you'll be fine. And then,
all right, mate.
I know. And then I felt like my head started shrinking. It felt like my head was shrinking like a balloon that you let the air out of. And I sort of started to go, I don't feel great. And then I fainted, blacked out.
Far out.
I know.
How long were you out for?
Not long, but enough to get that little buzz.
Yeah, right. I feel like I've come close to that on a bad hangover.
Probably.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
We're taking your calls about times you've fainted after Snoop Dogg fainted after meeting his blaxploitation film hero, Pam Grier.
On the pissy floor he
On
landed.
the pissy floor. Imagine fainting, which is bad enough, but then imagine fainting in front of a urinal.
Disgusting. I was at the footy yesterday, Swanee, and it really irks me urinals in public toilets. I hate urinals. I think they're so gross.
I mean, sweeping statement for next week.
Yeah.
Urinals should be outlawed.
Agreed.
I think they're disgusting.
I'm with you.
One of the greatest things about being a woman is that we don't have to deal with that.
Well, I love now in the restaurant scene, it's generally unisex toilets, the new restaurants. Like, it's just a shared bathroom space.
That's right.
Beautiful.
And women can't use a urinal unless they've got a she-wee. Sally, when did you faint? Or no, it's your son.
No, it's my son. Last Saturday, my husband and I were doing gym in our garage, and we heard this horrific noise, and it sounded like the ceiling falling down. And he fainted, passed out, and apparently what happened was he was trying to grab a chair because he felt really dizzy, and he ended up cutting his nose in half on the dining room table. And it was so bad and horrific, I couldn't even look at him because all I could see was the bottom of his nose hanging down.
Oh, my God, Sally, what?
And he was taken off to Royal Brisbane Hospital, and the poor boy now is sitting in the lounge because I'm at work right now. The poor boy is at home, and he's got to spend months with this reconstructed nose. And it's so sad.
Oh, well, that really took a turn
Didn't
for
it?
the worse, Sal.
Also,
Goodness me.
Honey, I kind of want to do that to get a free nose job. Because then they reconstruct. Sally, you're in the draw for Nova's first class and 50K.
Oh, my God. Megan, when did you faint?
I fainted twice, actually. Once when my mum was cutting my hair when I was probably a teenager. And then again when I was probably about 18, 19, when I was at the shops ordering McDonald's.
Oh, my
I
God.
woke up.
I mean, look, I get it. It is a very exciting moment. What is your standard order at Macca's? Just make us jealous.
Probably just a cheeseburger meal.
Yeah.
We
Plain
love
and
it.
simple.
And why did you faint when your mum was cutting your hair? Was she cutting an undercut?
Probably just hadn't eaten enough, or,
Try and explain to Jack, who's never fainted, what the sensation is, because it's very odd.
You just kind of lose train of thought, and then when I was ordering my McDonald's, apparently I had ordered a complete meal and woke up to security guards around me, and I apparently ordered a meal that I had never eaten before. But,
Oh, wow.
it's just an out of body experience.
Oh, my God. Obviously the fillet of fish, Megan. Jane, when did you faint?
Oh, hi, Chrissy and Jack.
Hi,
I
Janie.
actually used to be a serial fainter. I used to faint all the time. So I had so many stories to think, which one will I tell you?
Really?
But probably the worst one I did was when I was about 18, or I was maybe 17. And I'd been doing aerobics, because back in those days it was all the, aerobics and that sort of stuff. And after that, we were at this place and they had a spa, so I went and had a spa. And then I went in a communal shower, so we were all dressed, but whatever. And my ears started to ring, and then I could feel the sensation that you were talking about. You start to sort of shrink inside yourself.
Yes,
I thought, it's like this and then I thought, oh God, I'm going to faint. And I fainted, completely unconscious, but I landed on my face and I broke all my front teeth.
No.
In front of. Oh, and when a 17-year-old, you're always worried about what you look like, and I could feel all my teeth were jagged.
Oh.
And my friend picked me up, and she sat me on the side, on a little bench, and then I'm sitting on there. I thought, I'm going to faint again, and then I fainted again, and she let me fall on the floor again. I didn't hit my teeth this time,
bitch.
but then I said, please don't let me fall again.
Yes.
So,
Jamie,
The drama
that
of it all.
sounds terrible. Let's finish with Jake.
Yes.
Now, Jake, you fainted before a show in Athens. What is the Greeks' recipe for someone who faints?
Look, I was hoping I was going to wake up and there'd be some, bloody beautiful Greek gods standing around me. But I was walking to the hair show, which is across the road from where I was staying, and I passed out just from, panicking, obviously. And I've woken up to a big group of years standing around me, all thinking, what the hell do we do with this big boy? And I've made my way across finally. They didn't call the ambulance or anything like that, but I've made my way across to the hair show and found my manager, who's from Australia, and she said, no, you'll be fine. I said, no, get me into the medical, whatever, tent, whatever it is. And so she takes me into the medical room, and the doctors are sitting there, all smoking cigarettes in this room, by the way. And they hand me, because they could see I'm panicking, they could see my blood pressure was up, or I was freaking out, thinking, I can't go to a hospital in Athens. God knows what they're going to do to me, and they might take a kidney. And so I sit there, they pick up a packet of cigarettes, on top of the cigarettes, 3 different pills, and they said, take one of these, and it was a Valium, and it just knocked me out.
Yes! Valium and a pack of cigs!
The Chrissy Swan Show. The Chrissy Swan Show.
We are joined by the ever-elusive Nadia Bartel. I do love that, apart from our love of Jack that we have in common, you never do any publicity or interviews, and I dips me lid to you, lady, because I'm exactly the same.
You don't do radio either. Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling good?
I feel like I'm in a safe space.
Yeah, good.
So that's making me feel good, but I don't do a lot. Yeah, I get a little bit scared and nervous.
Yeah, well, you don't need to be nervous
Not
around
with
us. We love you to death. Now, I need to talk to you about the Aura Ring. It came up last week. I've lost my Fitbit, and then I bought another one with Qantas rewards points because I have no money at the moment. And I've lost that as well before I even got to put it on. Talk to us about the Aura Ring. You're obsessed.
You need the Aura Ring. So it took me a year to buy it. I was like umming and ahhing because it's quite expensive.
You've got it on now. It's so expensive.
Yeah, it is. And then once you convert it from US dollars to ours, the membership's $10 a month. So there's a lot. But I have to say, I've only had it for a month and I'm utterly obsessed. Like, you get a sleep score, you get your heart rate, like your stress levels, like your readiness for the day. Like, there's all these things, but it's just, you feel like you've got so much intel into your body and what you need, and even my sleep patterns. Like, I know it's now giving me an alert what time I need to go to bed, gives you an alert if you need to move. Like,
but
it's
I don't
amazing.
need an app to tell me that I'm not ready for the day. Like, that is
True.
Standard.
And that's true because I've been a little bit sick, and then because obviously it checks your body temperature, all of these things. So my readiness at the moment is just shocking. And then I look at that and you just get quite depressed because you're like, I can't handle the day.
It's going to be a shit day.
And the other day you were saying you were doing interviews, and then after it tells you what does it tell you?
Yeah, because you get your stress levels, and obviously because it checks your heart rate and your and all of that. So when I've had like stressful conversations with people at work, or if I'm doing like interviews, my stress levels are just peaked. So it will be like you've had 3 hours of stress today. So it just gives you a lot of intel. You need it.
I don't know if I need to know this.
My health anxiety would peak. I wouldn't be able to cop
Yeah,
it.
I'm not sure about you.
Yeah.
You would be out of control. Now, obviously, Nadia and I both know about your health anxiety.
Yes.
Jack, you have known us both for the same amount of time, about 8 years,
Yeah.
and we're very proud women to be among your list of queens. But I want to do a little quiz and see who knows you better, Jack Charles. Man, the boy is mine.
Alrighty, I've got 11 questions here that I trust both of you know the answers to. You've got to... your name is your buzzer, Swanee, check yours.
Chrissy.
Nards.
Nadia.
You've got to be faster, mate. You've got to be quick. Give me Nards. Do Nards.
Nuts.
Yeah, great. Alrighty, question number 1.
Yeah.
Where was I born?
Chrissy.
Yes.
Harvey Bay.
I'll pay it. Maryborough at Harvey Bay.
I forgot that one.
CS, 1
Conceived
point.
in a motel.
Yeah, where was it again? Dolby?
Oh.
Alrighty, question number 2. What's my coffee order?
Chrissy.
Oh, Chrissy.
No, you go.
No, you go. You're in first. It's fair.
Skinny latte. 1 sugar.
I was going to say.
2 points to Swanee. Alrighty, question number 3. Where did I go to high school?
Chrissy. VCA.
I always forget that.
No, you gotta be quick. It's not. Alrighty, question number 4. What was my first job?
Nuts.
Yep.
Subway.
Yes.
Sandwich artist of the year.
The title, sandwich artist.
Alrighty, question number 5.
Crap artist.
What is my biggest physical ick?
Nuts.
Yeah.
bad nails, and I've got
yeah.
2 really bad nails at the moment.
Can I please get some kudos for never having bad nails?
You never do.
Yeah,
you
yours
never
are
do.
Nice.
Every 3 weeks, though.
Oh, that's the hard thing. Mine have been like 5.
You make the appointment. It's not hard.
That's a pretty colour. Oh, it's really nice.
Thank you. It's called Baby Doll.
Okay. Question
No, it's
number
called Dreamer. Go. sorry.
6. Who's my favourite DJ?
Nuts.
Nuts.
Fred again.
Alrighty.
I did know that. I was
Coming
just
back.
not quick enough.
We've got 3 points
Yeah.
to Chrissy, 3 points to
Oh,
Nuts.
it's neck and neck.
It's neck and neck.
Is this for the win?
Let's make this for the win.
Okay.
Who is the last person I kissed?
Chrissy.
No, you were in. Go.
We're not allowed to talk about that, are
You can
we?
say we'll bleep it. Thank you so much for coming in, Nard. Head to witchery.com.au or head in store to Witchery. And also check out Nadia's brand, Henny. We should mention that.
Yes.
That's nice. Thank
Your
you.
stores are heaven.
Really?
Yes.
Thank you.
Does anything fit me? No.
Of course. What do you mean, of course?
Thanks, Nards.
Thank you.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
You know, Jack and I, we've got a beautiful relationship and I love my friends very, very much. If I was ever to break up with them, if I was ever to never return their calls, I would like to think it would have been for a bigger reason than the great Gypsy Rose Blanchard cited when she split from her husband.
That was ridiculous. That woman just gives on TikTok and online about her life. I love it.
So much. I wonder if she's currently working at McDonald's, which is her dream.
Yeah, that's right. Also, before 3, Swanee, you're going to go through your favourite website, taste.com's comments section on some weird and wacky recipes.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
I want to talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I have been obsessed with this story for so long because, you know, I'm a mad true crime fan.
Mad for it.
I loved true crime back when it was shameful. Now it's like everybody loves it. There's 7,000 podcasts. I was reading books and keeping myself awake at night with documentaries in my late teens. But now everybody's all over it. And Gypsy Rose Blanchard is a name that if you don't know, you must know if you like true crime, because she is the central figure in a very tragic story where her mother had Munchausen's by proxy, which is a terrible mental illness, where you basically slowly kill your children in order to get attention from everybody else.
It's like, yeah, that's properly messed up.
It is so confounding and I think, you know, and also very, very interesting. So Gypsy Rose Blanchard took revenge on her mother and ended up in jail. She has just been released and a new resurgence of Gypsy Rose Blanchard popularity ensues.
Yeah, because I was introduced to her via TikTok, Swanee, over our summer break, and you and I had split up for the year.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to quiz you on this
Oh
woman.
my gosh.
But the minute she was out of prison, it must have been towards the end of last year, she just went viral.
Absolutely.
And she did every podcast under the sun and appeared on every American talk show.
I feel like also she signed up for social media on Instagram and got like millions of followers within the first 24 hours. Crazy. She's now off social media.
Is she?
Yes. Oh, yeah. She said it's just too crazy. She just
Right.
can't stand it. But she did get married, and that was one of the first photographs that she posted on Instagram, her and her husband.
Was that once she was out of prison?
Yes.
And had those two met, like how long
Yes,
had
while
they been
she
together?
while she was on the inside.
Oh, I see.
As they say in Prisoner. By the way, have you watched all of the supporting documentaries and series?
No, not one.
Okay, you've got to watch The Act, which is a dramatisation
Okay.
of the story. But the original is a documentary called Mommy, Dead and Dearest,
Wow.
which is just so haunting. But get onto
Mommy.
it. Everyone's talking about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She has since divorced the husband that she married while she was
Already?
locked up. Yeah.
Well, I've got to say, when she came out of prison and was doing interviews with him,
Yeah.
she was giving quite like gross, graphic details about their relationship.
Yeah, look,
it was too
she's,
much.
It's probably TMI, as they say. But it is the same as any relationship, even though it is unconventional. There was some deal breakers there.
Right.
And 13, 24, 10. In the litany of things about your partner, that kind of constituted the reasons to break up with them. Anything from lack of communication, jealousy, all of those sort of standard things. There's always one seemingly boring and useless thing that really tipped you over the edge.
Something trivial.
Something trivial. Gypsy Rose Blanchard has said that the reason that she left her husband was over snoring and hoarding.
The big two.
So nothing to do with how he spoke to her or disrespect or control or any of those things. Hoarding and snoring. And I think we can all relate to that. 13 24 10, what was the trivial thing that spelt the end of your relationship?
She mustn't have liked him that much. Like, go buy the dude a sleep apnea machine and hire a cleaner, Gypsy.
Some things are unfixable, Jack.
The Chrissy Swan Show. The Chrissy Swan Show.
Woman of the moment, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, has recently got divorced, and cited on the papers is he snores and he's a hoarder. And I can't stand it anymore. It reminds me of our mutual friend, Jack. We were talking about this in the office, and I said, isn't that, it just seems so like trivial to break up with somebody over hoarding. She said, no, I left my husband because he put wet towels on my pillow.
That I get.
Really?
That is not okay. That is so much worse than hoarding or snoring. Wet towels on the pillow, the scent that would create, like
Can't you just say, hey, don't do that? I don't know.
That's a nail in the coffin.
All right, 13 24 10. What was the weird and trivial thing that was the last nail in the coffin of your relationship? Hello, Shazzy.
Hello, guys. How are you both?
Good, so good. Now, what was it that you just knew that it couldn't go on?
Oh, look, my husband at the time, he was sitting in on a Saturday night watching the bill when I'm wanting to go out dancing. I said, I can't do this anymore. There's the door. See you later.
I mean, look, Shazzy, The Bill is a really great show.
It's a great show, but not on a Saturday night, Chrissy.
No, that's true. And this sounds like it was a while ago too, was it?
A long time ago now.
Yeah, when you were like, that you wanted to hit that D floor in the 90s.
Are you still out dancing, Shazzy? Please say yes.
100%.
Yeah, gal.
100%.
No regrets. Hi, Jen.
Hello, how are you?
Good. So you were dumped over something trivial?
Yep, my partner said I wouldn't iron his shirt.
Oh,
Jen, that sounds outrageous. Hasn't he ever heard of the special deal, 10 shirts for $40?
No, he wanted me to iron his shirt, and I do not iron. I have never ironed, and I don't own an iron.
Good.
And what was your response when he delivered that news to you and that reason to you?
We were in the middle of a massive argument, and that was one of the excuses he threw at me, and after that we broke up. We'd been together for 8 years.
And please tell me that you have since not learnt to iron.
I don't own an iron.
Good.
I will never own an iron.
Yes.
I cannot stand ironing.
Yes,
Remind
Jen.
everyone what you did with your iron.
So eventually, Jen, and you'll understand this, I hated my iron so much that I cut the cord and put it out on the nature strip, and never regretted that decision.
The image of that is so fantastic.
Bang! Tanya, what was the final nail in the coffin?
My ex-husband used to stack his dirty dishes on the sink, yet the dishwasher was directly below that part of the sink. It was like, dude, just bend down and open the door and put it in. Oh, my God. I was ready to smother him with a pillow.
I bet you were. I bet you were. And every time when you had almost decided that it was over, did you walk into the kitchen and look straight to the bench and go, yes, I'm right?
Yeah, absolutely. There was always a dirty teacup on there.
Okay, let's finish quickly with Kylie Swan.
Kylie, what was it?
Hi, Chrissy. Hi, Jack. So the father of my child, I've only got one child, I was with him for about a year, and it was our first Christmas, and we all had a present underneath the tree, and we opened each present, and then he just grabbed the whole Christmas tree, took the light, the switch out of the thing, put it in the cupboard, shut the cupboard, and he said, right, that's it, Christmas is over.
I love it.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
It's time for this.
Chrissy'sTaste.com.
would happily throw to a song now because that
Segment's done.
The opener is magical. Now, if you are new to this segment, welcome. It is my favourite thing to do if I have a spare few minutes to open up my browser and type in taste.com.au, which is a fabulous recipe website that everybody uses. And I just like to peruse the reviews and see what little nuggets I can find.
Because taste.com, this segment has taught me, really brings out the bonkers in people.
The best part of it is when someone makes a fish taco but uses raspberries and then complains.
Yeah.
Oh, these fish tacos were awful. I used raspberries instead of fish and I am at home on my browser just cackling. Here are a few of my favourites. Poll. On the recipe for lemon butter queen of puddings. I mean, that sounds fancy. She's given it 4 stars.
Okay.
And she says, I made mango queen of puddings for the funeral of the queen. So already, this is a recipe for lemon queen of puddings. A very different beast to a mango.
Yeah.
We dressed in black, donned the fake pearls and watched the telecast, just hoping that by the time Charles is crowned, we will be a republic. This is way too much information, Paul, by the way.
Chill out.
I did a mango version as I made mango butter from the coronation chicken we had as a main course. I mean, for a Republican, she's really giving the monarchy a go, isn't she?
Isn't she? Also, Paul, no one cares what your main was.
It was nice, but I don't think I'll make it again in a while. Mango butter was nice, though. Polly, you didn't follow the recipe.
Yeah, and nor did you, offer any information that will be useful for other users trying to cook.
Correct.
You're just giving, waxing lyrical about your own life.
Go away. The next one, choc Guinness mud cake. Sounds good. Did you know that you can put Guinness and beer and stuff in different recipes?
No, I didn't know, especially in a mud cake.
Well, Karen found out the hard way. She goes, I love this recipe. It is great to give your girls this at book club! ! They loved it. But Shireen said it was too flowery. God, I hate Shireen.
She actually wrote that.
She wrote that. Anyway, I am going to bring this to my lovely daughter's Bible study next week. Kiss, 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 Karen.
I mean, what 2 boring hobbies, book club and Bible study.
Way too much information, Karen. And also, I wanted Shireen to read this and go, hate me, do you?
Yeah. Yeah, because
I poisoned your risotto.
Sometimes they do comment back on taste.com this
They
morning.
do, and we will get to that. Let's go to the recipe of cornbread, one of the greats. Have you ever had cornbread or made it?
No, never.
Oh, my God, it's so
What would you have
delicious.
it with?
Butter.
Oh, so just a simple...
Butter, and it's sort of like a American, like a South American thing.
Okay.
Not South American, the South. In
Yes,
American.
yep.
But Govind79 says, terrible, absolutely terrible recipe. Even though he gave it 4 stars. It has a horrible taste that needs to be masked by condiments, etc. Cornbread should be delicious on its own. It has a very non-cornbread stench about it as well.
Gavin's accent really changed throughout that comment. I quite enjoyed it.
Now, Solfane says, why would you give it 4 stars then?
Fair call.
Fair call.
Fair question.
Now, I have to stop myself from logging in and replying to these reviews. But Jessie has absolutely taken my glory here. Let's go to a recipe for blueberry muffins. Girl says, I forgot to add the brown sugar because I was following step 3 and it didn't mention it. Jessie replied, couldn't help herself. Step 2 says to add sugar. Jessie's saying what everyone's thinking. Also on that recipe, 1 star from Lulu, who says, what a silly recipe. You have to add the blueberries last and fold them gently. My whole colour turned blue.
Wait, isn't the point of a blueberry muffin to somewhat go blue?
Well, you have to, yeah.
Yeah.
If there's blueberries involved,
Yeah.
yes. And Jessie, again, could not resist. The recipe tells you to do that.
Now check this out. The Chrissy Swan Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.